Hi everyone. We Today we're going to see a session where how to use Git and as a new developer how we can start our development. And with me Kamal is here. Hi Kamal.
Yeah, hi Arun.
Yeah, yeah. So let me share my screen. So what you are expecting from this session, Kamal?
So see, I'm very new to this CI/CD thing and GitHub, so I need to implement in my project. So I'm just trying to learn it. So I think it will be a good start with
Yeah,
you.
yes, Kamal. So I will go step by step. If you have
Mhm.
any questions, you can ask me. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have GitLab and GitHub as two source code managers, like where you can start creating your repository before the development. I'm going
Yeah.
to show GitHub in this session.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to GitHub, you can actually uh, create your sign in. Basically, since I already signed in, it is showing my GitHub portfolio. Let me see if I can sign out. So actually, when you go to github.com, it will just show like this. If you don't have account, you have to use sign up, and then you need to sign up with your GitHub account with your email ID. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to sign in. Since I already have a account, I'm just going to sign in with my account.
Yeah.
So yeah. So this is my homepage. GitHub uh, has a lot of repository features. So I go to my profile and I'm clicking your repositories.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where all my repositories are stored,
Mm-hmm.
my projects and packages. I will come to the project and packages later. Basically, this is where our repositories are. Uh, all the repositories are there. So first thing a developer have to do is to create a new repository either from here or from the console using git init. Git init is to actually initialize your first repository. So now
Mm-hmm.
we have a GitHub or GitLab or whatever it is. Let's create our new repo from this. When I click on the new, it is asking for the repository name. Right now, I will give hello world application. So you have to give the repository name based on your application or what you are developing.
All right.
So description, this is a repo for my student. Some description you can give. And we can set the repository as private or public. So private repository cannot be accessed. Then actually let it be public. Then we can have add a readme file. So readme file is just gives the steps in the. So I'm not adding the readme file. I'm just going to create the repo. And we can also use git ignore if we want, but by default it is none. If you see here, it is none. We have a lot of templates of git ignore right now, but I'm not adding those because we can add it later as well. So only thing is our repository name is important. And are you going to use this as a public
Mm-hmm.
repository or private repository?
So why
Yeah,
do we use this git.ignore?
yeah. So when you are pushing, so you do the development at your local,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a lot of files in your local. So every time you try to send to the repository, then actually some of the files are not needed. For example, you have 5 files in
Mm-hmm.
your local, and every time the 5 files will be pushed to your repository. But instead, some files in the application, for example, if I give Java, so Java, so here it is. So Java will have certain files or like dependencies, which is already there in the repo. So you no need to every time you need to send it to your local to your your remote repo. So what we are creating, this is our remote repository, which means this repository is not in your local, you are creating somewhere in GitHub. So it's a remote repository. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever you push the code from your local, all the files in your local will go to your remote. So whatever there in
Okay.
the folder. So this git ignore, whatever you are saying representing git ignore, when you actually push the code from your local to your GitHub repository, the whatever mentioned the git ignore file won't pushed. It will be just ignored. So we will see that. So I'm just putting none for now. And if you have any specific license model for your repository like MIT, if you are publishing some softwares which is
Mm-hmm.
belong to license, you can use it. But right now, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to create a repository. So I'm creating a repository, Hello World application, and you will get this page. If you are very new to repository like Git itself, I will recommend to note these commands which they already give it here.
Okay.
So I will also keep this page here. Okay. So here we can you have created the repositories. Now we can actually do it in multiple ways. Uh, First thing is this is a remote repository and we have to have a local repository. Now I will go to my terminal. So I am in my terminal and I am going to give ls. So here you can see there is one folder. Okay. So there is only one folder, which is Python folder, but there is
Mm-hmm.
no other folders. Okay. What I have to do is either by HTTP or SSH, I have to set up a local repository. So this is my remote repository. Every time I can't use the remote repository, the reason is you need internet. If you are
Mm-hmm.
developing your software, you need an internet to always write a code in the internet. So we will develop something locally
Mm-hmm.
and we will push it to the remote repository. So I am going to set up my local repository. So here, whenever you create a repository, the repository will have a HTTPS or SSH. So you can use either of these things to actually clone. Both will work. It depends on some organization. They will block HTTPS because it is not secure to have HTTPS access.
Mm-hmm.
SSH needs a key, SSH key, to
Yeah.
actually authenticate before the repository get cloned. So let's use HTTPS for now, and I am copying this repository link, and you can see here. So here we have set of commands, but the one command which is not there is git clone because
Mm-hmm.
they have given the URL here, and I am going to give. So git init again is used to create a repository local and push it to your remote. Okay, so we already created a repository. So I'm not going to give git init again. Instead of that, I am going to uh,
So only one time we need to give a git init command.
yes. So what happened if I give git init? It
Mm-hmm.
actually asks me to initialize a repository. Okay. So right now when I give git init, you can see I am into master. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
into master of my repository. But this is coming from the config file. If you see git config, so we need in the configuration, I have to tell which repo it is. So right now, let's
I
exit from
cannot see
this.
your terminal.
You cannot
Are you
see my
showing?
terminal.
Yep.
Okay. Now can you able to see?
No.
Let
I
me
think it's somewhere stuck your screen.
wait. Let me show the terminal now. You can able to see the terminal now.
Not yet.
What you are seeing?
I can see your browser only.
Browser only.
Yeah.
Uh, Can you able to see my terminal now?
Not, no,
No?
no.
Uh, Check again.
Mhm. Yeah, now something is happening. Yeah, now I can see.
Now you can see. Okay. So let me share the desktop again.
Yeah,
So you can see my
it's
terminal.
it's better now.
Okay. So uh, let me take the terminal again so it will be easy. I'm going to my desktop,
Mm-hmm.
and the desktop I'm going to the folder. So in the folder, I can see that I'm into the master, Git master, but that is I don't want to go into master, so I'm just giving cd dot dot. So what happened when I gave uh, git init, that folder becomes the repository. So dir, if I in the cd dot dot mkdir, I'm going to create one more folder.
Folder.
Yeah, let's make it bigger. So I will create one more folder, for example, test repo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if I if I go to test repo and if I give ls, there is no file, right?
Right, right.
When I give git init, so what happens? This test repo becomes the git repository. You can see here git master now.
Mm-hmm.
Can you able to see git master?
Yeah, I can.
Now if I see mkdir test, I'm creating a folder. If I do ls, actually I have created a git repo, and then
Mm-hmm.
inside the git repo there is the test folder. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I created the repository locally instead of not going to github.com.
Mm-hmm.
From here I can able to push it to the GitHub using this git remote origin command. So you can see here git remote add origin, and with this URL I can
Mm-hmm.
able to push that repository from locally to here. So we can try that. Let me. So what happens? I have created the repository. Uh, we can use Visual Studio Code or something like this, and then I can go to File, Open Folder, and then let's go to Desktop Test Repo. So this is my test repo. Inside that there is no file. Just I am creating a file test.txt,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll say hi. Okay. Then I can take a terminal. You can use terminal within here, or you can use the terminal there. What we have to make sure is we are inside that repository.
Repository.
Okay. So I have added a new file. So I have to say git add and then dot. What this dot mean is I am adding this file in the present directory.
Mm-hmm.
Then once I added the file, I have to save the file in my local. To save the file, it is called as git commit, and then we can give the message. I'm giving the message. This is a test file. So because we do multiple commits, multiple
Mm-hmm.
times saving. So once I save it, it will show one file is changed, zero file inserted, zero file deleted, and this is your commit code. So
Mm-hmm.
every commit you can actually go back for if you want to go back. It's kind of your file saved in the commit. So if we want to check that, we give the command called git status, and git status will say if some commands need to be committed, or it will tell us. Now it is not showing any error, so which means we are committed. So now we have to actually push this. So git branch.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see git branch, this is not ours. So git branch. So git branch asks which branch you want. We are already in master, so we no
Mm-hmm.
need to. We just need to quit. So git branch minor. We are already into master. It is not needed. So now I am saying git remote. Add this to. So now after put this,
Mm-hmm.
let me open this into a new tab so that we don't lose these commands. So when we go into this repository, yeah, we have to push it after this. Let's go to that. So after I added this, I have to push the code. So the pushing the code actually send it. So now on push, it is giving some error because we have given origin main. So let's give just git push. Then it gives master because we don't have main here, we have master. So
Mm-hmm.
set upstream origin. So which means you push it to master. The origin is master.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I give git push upstream equal to origin, it will push my files from a local to here. So the extension of GitHub wants to sign in. So now actually what we are doing with git init command, I am creating the repository locally. From the local, I am trying to push here. So it is asking for authorization. So I am
Yeah.
giving my authorization.
Password is required.
So let's see. I can actually try to, okay, it is pushed now. Okay.
So I have
So,
a question here. As you
mm,
have mentioned, git
mm,
push
mm,
set upstream origin master.
mm,
But in the repository we have created on the GitHub,
mm,
that is the main. Or here
mm.
we are mentioning
No,
master.
we didn't created the main or master by ourselves. So what
Okay.
we did, we just gave the name of the repository and we created.
Right.
And here, if you see, when you give git init, the master is coming here. So you
Mm-hmm.
are into master branch. And
Okay.
when we give git branch, it showed us master branch. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then I try to make push to origin main. There is no main branch because there's only master branch. That is why again we have to set git push minus minus upstream origin master. So
Mm-hmm.
when you give git branch command, it shows the branches which is there in the repo, and we have only one branch called master. From long time we are working on the master only.
Okay.
Okay. Now
Mm-hmm.
what happened when you do git push? It is actually push the four objects, and then it says it is pushed to the origin master. From
Mm-hmm.
in my local master to my remote master. Okay. If we go to my repository now, and if I refresh, I will see this test folder.
Okay.
Okay. So what actually I did, I created the repository here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just a repository, and actually I went to my local, I created a folder, and then I gave git init. So what the git init does, git init actually initializes my folder as repository.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to do another way now. So instead of that folder, let let us create one more repository. Okay, uh, uh, or let me do it in another way. Let me delete that repository from the current folder. So I am into repository. I am going out cd dot dot and rm minus rf test repo. So now when I give ls minus ltr,
Mhm.
I don't see the test repo. Okay. So I don't see the test repo now. I will clone it again. So now we are not going to use git init. So instead of that, I'm going to just clone what is we created in the repo. So it should empty repo will come initially, but in this case we already have something. So I'm giving git clone and enter. So when I give git clone and if I do ls, I can see the repository name as hello world application.
Yeah.
So this is my local repository and this is my remote repository. Okay. So you have any questions?
Yeah. So it means like when we are giving a command get clone,
Hmm,
so it means it's taking all the folders and the data from remote branch
hmm.
to our local.
No, when we actually clone, there is no concept of branches. It will always clone the repository, complete repository. If you have 20 branches or 30 branches, whenever you do the clone, it won't it will clone the entire repository. The concept is always the URL is same. Okay, this URL is for your repo, not for your branch.
Okay.
Okay, so when you are cloning, so I created a repository here, empty repository. When you
Mm-hmm.
clone, the repository is created in your local now. Okay,
Okay.
so I'm
Okay.
just cloning the copy of it. But
Mm-hmm.
if you do git init, then you have to create one more folder in the local, and then you have to make git init to make sure that folder is your repository. That is why we are using git init.
Get in it. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So since we already did some work, if I go and see cd into my repository and when I do ls, then I can see test folder inside. Here you have to notice whenever do I do ls here, this git
Mm-hmm.
master is coming.
Right.
Okay, which ensures this folder is not just the folder which we store the files. This folder is the local repository folder, local git repository. Okay,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
so now developer can work in IDE, any IDE. So here we take this Visual Studio Code and I go to the Visual Studio Code and I actually open that IDE. I take this repository and I open the repository. So now this is my repository name and my test folder is coming. Okay. So if we didn't create the test folder, it will be the empty repository. So Git
Mm-hmm.
is suggesting to add a README file. So echo README file. Okay. So since they have given this command here, I'm trying to explain you guys. Just if we copy that command and if you paste it here,
Mm-hmm.
uh, then if we run this, then if I do ls, you will see one more file is created called readme.md. So inside the readme.md, it is just hello world application. So if I go to IDE, you can see that hello.application readme file is created. Okay, now let me create a application file. So here in Visual Studio Code, we can create a file or we can create a folder, whatever you like. So I create hello.py application file. Now let me say print hello world. Okay, so this I will take the terminal and then say Python. So let's me take ls. So cd I have created inside the test. So cd test ls python hello.py.
Yeah.
So Python
File not
3,
find.
no, hello.py is here. So Python 3 hello.py. So it is not giving any error because if you see Python is not installed. So it is asking us to install the Python package.
Right.
Okay, I am installing the Python package. So these all the IDE stuff, whichever IDE you use, you can use PyCharm or you can use Visual Studio Code or IntelliJ. No,
Mm-hmm.
we need to install Python package. To install the Python package locally, we can also use pip3 install Python. Okay, if you give pip3 install Python, it actually install the Python package in your local system. So it is having some version problem. Let me see if it is. This is the plugin. So if it is installed, we can able to see the output. But coming back to the our repo part. So here we have hello.py. New program is written. Print statement is written
Yeah.
in my local. Okay. If I go to the repository, Hello World application, and inside the test, there's a test folder. I don't see those hello.py here
Right.
because it is in my local. So what the developer have to do whenever he has this, he have to save his job locally first. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when you create a new file, always you have to say git add if you are adding a new file. Okay. When I say git add, it is giving this error. So if you see, okay, let me use this terminal. So it is big. So ls cd test. So I am just giving git add.
Mm-hmm.
So git add, when I say, it is not taking, it is asking some other parameter after the git add, which means maybe you wanted to say git add dot.
Dot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is a hint. Or turn off this message by running git config. Why it is saying git add dot is the present directory. So you are adding a file in the same directory. So if I give git status now, the git status says you have untracked file because we still not added it. And
Mm-hmm.
the untracked files are readme.md, which we created now, and
Yeah.
hello.py. These
Right.
two files are untracked files. Okay. So if I give git commit now, it will also throw the same error because these two files in the repositories are not tracked. So nothing to add commit because commit in the existing files, we didn't do any add or submit. Okay. So I can now, if for example, if I go and change something in the existing file, for example, text.txt, let me put hello. Okay. Then uh, after putting hello, if I come here and then I say git commit, it actually say git commit minus a. It asks for the commit message. So I didn't give minus m. So I'm just giving test, then control Q. So it is actually committed in the master. This is the commit code. It has one file changed, one file inserted. Okay. So if I
Mm-hmm.
do ls cd, that if you see the if I the hello.py, it is not still here because we didn't push the code. In the
Yeah.
text.txt, you don't see any lines, zero lines.
Right.
Okay. So now I go and uh, push this code, git push. Now it is pushed. The commit is pushed to the remote directory. If I
Mm-hmm.
go and refresh here, then I see the hello here. Okay, in the test folder, I see the hello
But we
test.txt.
we we cannot see that hello file dot py.
Yeah, why? Because now we have to do git add my colon. Now git commit. Now if you check git status, so it says new file, which is
Added.
hello.py. Okay, still since we gave dot, we are inside the text. Readme.md is out of our folder. If you
Mhm.
want to add readme.file, then you have to go out and readme is created here. So git add minus. Now if you show git status, so you have two files,
Now we have two
readme.md.
files.
Now we can actually git commit minus m is the message, two files creator. Okay, now git push. So now what happens? These two files are saved in local only. Okay,
Mhm. Mhm.
so you can push when actually you want to send it to your remote. So now if I go here, my Hello World application, and then when I click on the test folder, you see hello.py. Okay, you understand the. So we will just continue. We will stop here, and then
Yeah.
we will continue the work. So basically, this is how every day as a developer we have to write a code, and after writing the code you need to give git commit. So
Yeah.
in the next video we will discuss about how this commit message are working. After you commit your code, commit will save in your local repository only, not in your remote repository.
Right.
Okay, why we are saving in the local? Because if I do new coding, you want to go back to the previous commit, you can go back to the previous commit as well. That we
Mhm.
will discuss. And when we do git push, you are stored somewhere remotely, like in Google Drive or Gmail, you are having your code in the remote.
Right.
Okay, so next time when you are working, you have a local folder, you write a code, and something is changed. If multiple people are working and something is changed, we have to do merge request that we will discuss, and we have a command called git fetch. Okay, so the what git? So now I can see git branch. It's a command. So there is only one branch called master. Okay, so
Mhm.
how I can create a new branch? So I can give git branch
Branch and name.
and then branch name.
Yeah.
Okay, now if I say git branch, I have two branches, but this star indicates current branch only. Okay,
So the like we are connecting with the master only, not with the
yes,
cloud.
yes. So that is the star indicates. Then we say git branch cloud Bobby. Okay, sorry, git checkout cloud Bobby. Now you can see the branch name is changed here.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
I
now
understand.
we will continue this topic in the part two video. So I'm
Okay.
just if you have any questions up to this, or you are good.
Yeah, I have a question, right? So when we are creating this, or like entering the command git
Hmm,
fetch,
hmm.
so it is getting the fetching the repository, or like what
Oh, I will
branches
explain
only.
that. So right now we didn't do any changes directly here. We
Mm-hmm.
created the branch locally and we have pushed it. In case
Okay.
if I go here and I'm
Mm-hmm.
creating a branch, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So see, still that branch is not reflected in until we push the branch. If you see view all branch, still master is here.
Right.
Okay. So if I do git push,
Mm-hmm.
then sorry. So cd hello. I'm going to repository.
We have to
Git.
change the branch first, I think.
No, we need to set the origin first.
Okay.
So I'm setting the origin. Now if I go here, if I go here, I can refresh. You can see there's a new branch creator from
Okay.
the local to here. But in case if I'm creating in my here, Cloud Bobby 2, create a branch. So there is a branch. Now if I go to my local and say git branch, it shows me only Cloud Bobby and master. Okay.
Right. Right.
So now I say git fetch. it is telling me there's a new
Uh,
branch.
right.
From the remote, whatever new changes happen, it is fetching. Okay.
Right.
So with this, let's finish this video and then let's continue. But
Okay.
what are the questions you have still now?
No, I'm good. This is very much clear to me now. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah, let's uh, so let us continue the concepts in next video. Thanks everyone for watching.